Howdy, it's Lonnie Ray Williams. It's been a while, and this announcement was actually going to take place last week, but I've been sick for a while, and a lot of things got put on delay. So I apologize for keeping some of you waiting a little bit longer than I initially anticipated. As I get caught up in life, I'm sure there's a lot of other things that'll be forthcoming. You know, my mother would probably tell you that I've always marched to the beat of my own drum. And today's no different. This year has been an amazing journey, and it's been filled with a lot of new opportunities along the way. My campaign to unseat the incumbent legislator did not work out this year, but boy, did we win in so many other ways. When one door closes, many others opened, and the fight for our unalienable rights has only just begun. It is to that new beginning and that spark of hope that I now speak of to my faithful friends and fellow stalwart Americans. We had known the extent of the corruption in the Democratic Party. That establishment was a known variable going into this campaign. The Biden puppets across the country, they could easily be identified by their blatant corruption. But now the corruption, and it's been there a long time. It just took a lot of us a little bit long to see it. But the corruption of the Republican Party establishment and their operatives have left it so there's not really a good home for true conservatives, people who love our founding fathers, people who love God, are not afraid to admit that God founded this country. The principles that this country rests on are biblical, and we need to acknowledge that before we're ever to hold the reins of this government. Across the entire state, across the entire country, wherever there was good, faithful representation, good constitutional candidates, whether they be incumbent or up and coming, the Republican Party establishment withdrew their support. And they bankrolled the corrupt and selfish, prideful puppets that the party can control, that they can ensure that they vote the way that they want to vote. And of course, we've known this for a bit, but we didn't know exactly how bad it was. There's only a select few constitutional defenders that survived the establishment purge in this election. Not surprisingly, the same corrupt leadership that has brought the Republican Party to ruin will remain in power, especially here in Washington State. The party leadership in the minority will not change, and little will change across the country. Republican Party establishment, the leadership within, is the challenge. So once again, we find ourselves in a state of taxation without representation. We, the people, and liberty lovers across the nation, were dealt a heavy blow by the aristocratic supremacists in the latest elections. Widespread voting integrity issues combined with the apathy of many who failed to do their due diligence or even get involved led to the solidification of the aristocratic power. Bureaucratic tyrants flaunt their oppression as some sort of gift for the common good, but we know it as the outstretched hand of tyranny upon the throat of our liberties. We pulled back the curtain on Republicans and Democrats who voted for college funds for illegal aliens, while our own residents languish in homeless camps underneath freeways. The aristocratic supremacists voted to fund empty seats in schools that groom and indoctrinate our children and they cannot even acknowledge the plain and simple truth that parents are the primary stakeholders in their children's upbringing. They have no problem taking your money to support phone banks for Georgia's Senate runoff rates, but failed to spend a dime for faithful constitutional conservatives in this state and many races across the entire state. The fact remains that establishment and local Republican parties worked against the candidates that supported the restoration of our representative republic. Our republic needs to be restored to the proper order of rule by we the people, and the Republican Party does not want that to happen. Well, I could lay out and indict individuals or leadership in the Republican or Democratic Party. It is simpler to summarize my experience in the last election to a few words. Republican leadership is no different than Democratic leadership. And in fact, both parties work together to ensure that they retain control over the people. Instead of striving to return to life of freedom, they do everything they can to ensure that they remain in control of the people. No honest servant of the people who offers themselves to fulfill their duty should ever be subjected to the vicious, uncouth attacks that myself and many of these fine candidates went through in this last election. That is why today I can no longer support a party that is fundamentally against its own people, and I formally renounce my membership in the Republican Party and state boldly that I am an independent American. I have joined the Independent American Party and have accepted the role in leading and building the Independent American Party of Washington State. Now, true constitutional conservatives and independent Americans who understand the proper role of government have a home where they will be treated with dignity, respect, and supported in their civic duty of service to our nation. As independent Americans, we are not afraid to stand up and proclaim that we are a free people granted natural and inherent rights that our ancestors called unalienable rights. These liberties are a human birthright granted by the great divine creator and giver of life. They cannot be seized nor given away, but are always at the risk of oppression and suppression by the wicked who feel entitled to rule over us. As independent Americans, we are not afraid to state clearly that our election system has serious problems, and our government has failed in carrying out fair, honest, and accurate voting. We, the people, have granted a portion of our political power to those we charged with protecting the sanctity of the vote. Those bureaucrats have failed miserably, yet they are not alone. Countless public servants have either disregarded or have been ignorant in their primary responsibility to preserve and protect our United States Constitution and state constitutions. The people of Washington State now have a party for champions of independence and liberty. I stand here today as an independent American, never surer of the road to liberty that lies ahead for me and my family. It is a monumental struggle that we are in, but so long as there is an independent American on the ticket, we can be assured that we won't settle for the lesser of two evils. Join me in standing up as an independent American and help restore the proper role of government. You can reach out to me today directly at LonnieRayWilliams@protonmail.com or join us on the Independent American Party of Washington Facebook page. There will be websites and other things coming in the future as we sort out how best to take on this great and wonderful opportunity to bring together like-minded liberty individuals who just simply want to be respected, want their government to be restored to the proper role of a representative republic. They want a party where people can be respected. They want a party that doesn't pick favorites. They want a party that just honestly is trying to restore the government to its proper role. please join me, and thank you so much for all of your support. And it's been a wonderful campaign. I had no idea going into this where it would lead, but there was some other opportunities and some people that I couldn't manage to get to say thank you for the other opportunities. But this is where I am led, and this is where I know that I will put all of my energy to try and give the people of Washington State a fair option in restoring their government to its rightful place and putting we the people as the primary stakeholders, not only in their children's lives, but the primary stakeholders in their government. We need to restore this place to its proper order. And that's what I'm going to do. And I would love it if you would join me, and together we can make this what it should have been a long time ago and what it used to be. Thank you. I've been on long enough. There's going to be much more in the future. But I also have a pamphlet that is grievously behind because I was sick, and I need to put the finishing touches on that and get it published and out. And need to start a fire and get warm. Anyway, thank you so much. God bless you all. And thank you for being along for this ride. And thank you for your support. And let's build an amazing independent American party in Washington State. God bless you. Have a fantastic day.